Hello students, welcome to the class of teacher Meenal Parera. In today's video, what we are going to study? Any guesses? Okay, so let's answer or let's study this question before we actually go to our today's video. We can feel the pulse behind the ears and near the heel of the foot. How these pulses occurs? These pulse occurs due to rapidly flowing of blood in the arteries. Okay, and what flows out when we have an injury? Blood flows out when we have an injury. Okay, so children, can you guess now what we are going to study today? Yes, you are right, children. Today we are going to study all about blood. Okay, so let's begin. Blood is a red colored fluid material. Fluid means flows. It can flow easily. It is a fluid connective tissue. And blood is not a simple fluid material. It's a connective tissue which connects the various parts of the body. The oxygenated blood is deep red in color, salty in taste, and its pH is 7.4. Okay, so as you can see that it is deep red in color. If you taste your blood, it is salty and its pH is 7.4. So it is not acid. Okay, it is towards the basic side. Blood is mainly composed of two components, that is plasma and blood cell. Now let's study each of these components in details. So first we study with the plasma, or what is plasma. Plasma is a pale yellow, clear and slightly alkaline fluid. Okay, so plasma is not red in color. Okay, it is slightly yellow or pale yellowish in color. It is clear and alkaline. That means its pH is more than 7. It contains 90 to 92% water, 6 to 8% proteins and 1 to 2% inorganic salts and some other components. Okay, so mainly it is water, proteins and some inorganic salts, okay, which are required by the body, okay, and some other components. Okay, so which are the other components is, it also has albumin, and the function of albumin is it distributes the water all over the body. Then it has globulin, which does the function of protection. Then it has fibrinogen and prothrombin, which helps in blood clotting process. And inorganic salts, as we have studied, it has calcium, sodium and potassium, which controls the function of muscles and nerves. Okay, so this plasma, this plasma is a pale yellow liquid which mainly does the function of distribution, protection. Okay, then we have fibrinogen and prothrombin, which also helps in blood clotting. Okay, that is the blood stops coming off the wound even if we have any injury. Okay, and inorganic salts or inorganic ions, which controls the function of muscle and nerves. Okay, so that is the plasma. Now this is basically, children, the entire structure of blood. Okay, but I wanted to show you the color of plasma, so that is yellowish in color. Okay, then the second type we have is blood cell. Now we have two types of blood cells. The first one are red blood corpuscles, which are also called as RBCs. RBCs are small, circular and enucleated cells. Okay, so they are small in size. See the shape, that is circular, and enucleated means no nucleus. These cells appear red due to hemoglobin. Okay, so we have already studied about hemoglobin, that is in the previous video. It helps to carry the oxygen. Oxygen dissolves in blood due to hemoglobin. 50 to 60 lakh RBCs are present in each cubic millimeter of blood. Children, each cubic millimeter. So you can imagine how many RBCs are present. RBCs are produced in a red bone marrow and live for about 100 to 127 days. Okay, and they do not have nucleus, so they cannot produce themselves. Okay, so it is produced in the blood. So red blood corpuscles, more of that hemoglobin is very important. Okay, because hemoglobin helps to take the oxygen throughout the body. Okay, then we have the white blood cells or white blood corpuscles. White blood corpuscles, as the name says, are white in color. So these are large, nucleated and colorless cells. Now RBCs enucleated, whereas white blood cells are nucleated and they are little larger in size. Okay, but the number is small. These are colorless. Now there are total 5 types of WBCs, that is basophil, eosinophils, neutrophils, monocytes and lymphocytes. These are the name of that. Okay. Now each white blood corpuscle has its own function. Okay. Where they are produced? They are produced in the red bone marrow. Okay. So along with the RBCs, WBCs are also produced. Now what are these WBCs? They act as soldier in our body. Okay, so soldier means what could be the work? Its work is protection. Okay, so 5 types of WBCs, that is basophils, eosinophils, neutrophils, monocyte and lymphocytes. Okay, all these 5 do the function of protection. Okay, so these cells attack the pathogens, that is disease causing microorganism entering in our body, and they protect us from microbial disease. Okay, children, have you ever done your blood report? Okay, suppose something is wrong with your body, if you are not well, then you do blood report. In that blood report, if you are not well, it will show that the number of WBCs or white blood corpuscles are more. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? We have more white blood corpuscles, body has produced more. Okay, that means there is some infection inside the body, and to fight with that, the body has produced more white blood corpuscles. Okay, so that is an indication. Okay, so white blood corpuscles are very important because they are protecting our body. Then we have blood platelets, which are extremely small and disc shaped, okay, which are around 2.5 to 4 lakhs per 3 millimeter of blood, and its function is platelets participate in blood clotting process, okay, which is very important. Because if there is no blood clotting, what will happen is the entire blood will flow out of the body and we will die. Okay, so clotting of the blood is very important. Okay, so we have in plasma some inorganic elements that helps in blood clotting as well as the platelets. Okay, so this diagram will together show you the elements of the blood. We have plasma, yellow color, 55%. Then we have red blood cells about 41%. Then we have white blood cells about 4%. These are lymphocytes, basophil, eosinophil, monocytes and neutrophil. And we have platelets very small, that is 0.01%. Okay, so these are all the elements of the blood. Hope it is clear to everyone. Let's go further. Now let's go to function of bloods. Okay, so the first one is transport of gases. We all know that oxygen is carried via blood from lungs to cell and carbon dioxide from tissue to lung. We have studied process of inhalation and exhalation. Then blood also transport nutrients like glucose, amino acids, fatty acids are taken up by blood from the wall of alimentary canal and transported to each cell in the body. Okay, so glucose, that is carbohydrate foods, amino acids, that are proteins, fatty acids, that are fats. Okay, so these are the simple form of the food that is being taken from alimentary canal to various parts of the body. Okay. Then it also transport the waste material. We have waste material like ammonia, urea, creatine, which are released by tissue in the blood. Okay, so if it gets accumulated, it will cause harm to our body. Even it can lead to death. Okay, so blood collects all these waste material and transport it to kidney for excretion. And there we have a different excretory system. But the main purpose of main function of collecting all this waste material is done by blood. Then protection. Antibodies are produced in the blood and they protect the body from microbes and other harmful particles. Okay, so we studied that we have white blood corpuscles which are our soldiers. Then transport of enzyme and hormones. Blood transport the enzymes and hormones from the site of their production to the site of their action. Okay, so enzymes are some chemicals that fasten up the body process, and hormones are required for the proper growth of the body. Okay, so these are produced at some places. For example, usually hormones are present by the glands which are mostly situated below our brain. You will study in details in 9th standard. So from there it is taken to various parts of their body for their particular action. Okay. Then we have the thermoregulation. Thermo means regulation means controlling the temperature of the body. Okay, so the body temperature is maintained constant at 37 degrees Celsius by vasodilation and vasocontraction. Okay, children, this is 37 degrees Celsius, not 370. Yeah? Okay, now let's see what is vasodilation and vasocontraction. Vaso means vessel. Okay, so this is the normal blood vessel. Contraction means you can see that the blood vessel is shrink. Okay, and dilation means it has become big in size. Okay, so depending upon the requirement, the blood vessel either contracts, that is vasocontraction, or it becomes big, that is vasodilation. Otherwise, this is normal, and this helps in maintaining the body temperature. Then maintaining the balance of minerals like potassium and calcium in the body, okay, which is required. Potassium, sodium, Na stands for sodium, K stands for potassium. Then we have calcium also, which is required for the proper growth of the body. Okay, so all these are the functions of the blood. Then if bleeding occurs at the injury, platelets and protein called fibrinogen of the blood forms a clot and seal the injury. Okay, this also we have discussed that if there is no clotting, blood will flow from the body and we will die. Okay, so the platelets and a protein, that is fibrinogen, it helps in the clotting of the blood and seals the injury. Okay, so I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, so this is all about blood and its function. Thank you very much. Take care.